Hello, welcome again to another Shatterdaze. I'm Venom 420. It's Saturday. It's a little later than normal, but we're back at it. Hopefully everyone is doing well in this crazy universe, wherever you happen to be traversing at this moment. Alrighty. But things have been okay. Hopefully everything's been with you. Yeah. Billy Bong, Mickey D, hello one and all, and to one and all, hello. Hopefully you are all doing well. Gypsy got the gang in. So there we are. About to roll up a joint of some green crack. They're about dry enough to be good. It's snapping. So good call. All right. Yeah, that's not bad. So Billy Bong Thornton, hey, you looking for some cheap beans? Twisted Roots, which I like the name. Twisted. But anyway, Roots has a sale going on for $1 a bean, which is awesome. I honestly wouldn't mind getting some new phenomes to test out. This green crack, I still haven't had a proper grow to really judge it, but it's not growing how I would like things to grow. And if I were to choose again, I probably wouldn't. But it's still one of my favorite strains. So let's twist one up. Speaking of which. All right. But always good. I don't know what I want to grow next. I don't know. Green crack was always a favorite strain of mine, so I wanted to give it a shot. But I used to be really big into Northern Lights. Any Northern Lights strain, cross, whatever, was my ideal. It's still up there. I know I would like I like hybrids, but I would like a more indica heavy dominant. So this green crack is by far the most sativa-y I've ever grown. But oh, it's okay. This was the worst. Oh, look at the puppies. Look at the puppers. You want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. All the animals are coming. All three of the animals are coming in. You lay down. Let the panda be. Billy Bong, I like the indicas. I used to be hell-bent on them. This is the first sativa I've grown. Yep, okay, Billy Bong, sativas take too damn long. Just everything about them. I like smoking them. I just do not enjoy growing them. Their yield is low. Their time is long. They're just not as they're not as fun and rewarding, forgiving. There's a lot of things. Yep, this is officially Panda Vision. I knew that was coming. So I got a panda, a dog, and a cat all in here. The cat's an alien. The other cat's a panda. Hey, don't you rush at her. Don't you rush at her. You gotta be nice. Gotta be nice. But as you can see, they're all doing relatively well. Considering that there's a dog and the panda in here at the same time, she's doing really well. J. Millie's Promotions. Same. Hybrids and indicas for me. Bud's usually a little more airy on the sativa side as well, yes. Now, again, I really like the high of them, I enjoy that. But even then, I'm not that obsessed with them. I know now that it was a mistake. Now, it depends on what you're trying to do. I feel like if you're doing trying to grow outside maybe and just trying to get a really big plant, sativas are good if you have no limitation on height. One of the big things I've noticed is by the time they're big enough to start flowering, they grow another goddamn 1.5 feet. But yeah, J Millie, hey, J Miles, J Mills, the J Man, same. But growing is just pain with height indoors as well as outdoors. Love them as well. LOL. Outdoor, love them. See, that's exactly what I've noticed. I'm like, outside, I could see mine. So I as soon as I started flowering mine, it grew another like 2.5, 3 feet. I'm like, okay, that's not normal for me. And indica normally starts like filling out instead of growing upwards, but it's been okay. So what is it, guys? I got so many animals in here. So many animals. So many animals. All right. Well, I know you can't see it, but we're rolling up a joint of some green crack. And again, green crack is still, I went for a nice old school flavor that I thought would be cool to bring back into circulation too. Like I haven't seen green crack for sale in fucking maybe 5, 6 years, maybe longer, probably longer. So it was cool to bring back something I hadn't heard in a while. And I still wouldn't mind doing that for a future grow. I have some breeders I would really like to try, but one of the big things is also I'm pretty bent on getting females feminized, and I wouldn't mind trying some like auto flowers next time or something to experiment with that. But I'm done with sexing out plants. There's no point for me anymore. Now there's sexed plants, which I've figured out was actually done. Hey, everyone's friends here. Everybody's friends here. Oh man, that's the closest right now. The dog and the fucking cat just touched noses. They just touched noses. That's a first time ever. That's the closest this cat and that dog have ever been to each other. They were smelling each other and they touched their little noses together. Fucking crazy. Huge step. You both did so good. That's huge steps. All right. Billy Bong. White cookies is fun to grow. Super frosty, big yields, and the flowers in 50 days. I know my brother-in-law, pretty much, he's really into burner, and cookies are burner's like strain or whatever. So he would be very happy if I did that just out of sheer principle. I've smoked some cookies, nothing too amazing, but growing, I'm starting to learn more, like I said, where I'm like, what I want to grow is different than what I want to smoke sometimes, apparently. I need to grab a crutch. I'll be right back. Oh, you're so good. You're so good. Where's your mom? All right. What you doing over there, kitten? All right. All right. Cubing. Nicholas 8 Dog. What's your favorite band or music type? I don't know anybody who can answer the first part of that anymore. What's your favorite band is rough. Growing up, I always used to say, and this is when I was like from birth to, I don't know, 14, 15-ish. Well, Pink Floyd was always the number one, really big. Oh, hey, Nod, she's gone. You want to pop up here? You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Come here. Come here. You're okay. That's nothing. Come here. She's playing the bass with her tail. She's playing the bass with her tail. Oh, this is my favorite. This is my favorite band, and my favorite type of music is dog barking. Not really. Um, so favorite band right now, if I had to say anybody, I think the band or the person I have the most respect for as a musician and a composer and a rock star and all that, probably still to this day would be probably Frank Zappa. I think is the guy who epitomizes professionalism and shit like that in the music industry for me. Um, Yep, that's Miss Phoenix. She's the best. Ziggy's the best. They're all the best. Um, but Frank Zappa again, and just the no bullshit approach to things, and the way he could lead and compose, and then take up the role of almost anybody in the band at times. Big fan. Favorite type of music? I still think nowadays metal, especially like technical death metal, is where the talent pool is just so fucking deep and oceanic that treading your feet in it, much like the actual ocean, is kind of intimidating and scary. Where you're like, man, uh, I'm lucky to dive down at all because it's crazy. But yeah, I'd say overall, metal is my favorite because it's such a broad term. I like metal music because there's everything from really slow doom and stoner metal to everything to super high, fast uh, tempo technical death metal is all still metal. So metal would be the number one, and then rock because rock is pretty broad too. I would probably say. Uh, I do like all types of music. There's not too many I don't like. I don't like polka music, therefore I don't like much fucking the straight up Mexican. I don't because it's polka music. Polka music is the same thing. I don't do that. I've yet to find good polka music. Even music that's like making fun of it, like Weird Al Yankovic. He does like funny polka. I still fucking can't listen to it. He's great. Can't listen to his polka music. Uh, so there's that. Other than that, most all music's great. Gypsy, Dave wants to know. Dave wants to know about folk music, folk metal. Uh, yeah, well, Dave knows more about folk metal than I do. There's a few bands that I know of, but folk metal, me and my girlfriend have had this talk, and she's very similar, where it's great, and like the atmosphere of it is really fun, and it's a great fucking show, and like the feeling and the atmosphere of it is jaunty, and it's amazing. I just don't find myself like listening to it that often. And when I do, it's solely to try and it's solely to try and recreate that feeling of jaunty drinking ale music. But he said there's polka music and folk metal, which yeah, I can believe. And maybe that's why I don't jam it that often. Something in me is like, this is just too close to lederhosen for me. No. All music has its basis in folk. No, it's just where is the home of your folk music, you know what I mean? All orchestrated music use, you know, wherever you're from. If you're from Poland, like oh God, I can't think of his name. Chopin, you're gonna use Polish folk music to inspire you. You know what I mean? If you're from anywhere, a lot of people use their folk music was big. Beethoven used German folk music and shit like that. Like I said, I'm not that. Hey, it's Nick. Yo, Nick, how's it going? But I do love the atmosphere and the feeling of folk metal. I think it's more of a feeling than anything. Although I really like the obscure instruments they use too. So there's that. All right, cat. So goddamn obsessed with some treats. There you go. Nick, it's the cat. Yep, got plenty of cat action already. No shortage there. We're about to spin the wheel of dabs, smoke up a joint of some green crack, and get into another Shatterdaze. I guess we're already into it, but still, same thing. Gypsy Troll Fest. I know I've heard of them, and I want to say I've heard some of their music, but I don't know them well. There's Troll Fest, what Ailstorm, Corpa Kalani, this big one. Amon Amarth kind of has like a Viking-ish folky feel to me. I haven't listened to it quite enough. Gypsy, they are funny. The huge thing for me is you can't take yourself too seriously. My way I think about it is if you take yourself too seriously on anything, then everyone who takes themselves too seriously, I can't take seriously. You know what I mean? The harder you try to be that person, the less it works for me. Nick, just playing some Doom classic called Ancient Aliens. It's a great mod. So I've heard from a lot of people that Doom Eternal has a great soundtrack. It's like a metal soundtrack and shit like that. I just found out that High and Fire and some other bands were on that soundtrack. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that they actually like got real bands for that soundtrack. So Doom, there you go. Good for them. I think people underestimate how much music and video games influence people. Like, there's a reason right now that there's like 8-bit retro video game music, and it's very popular. And not just synthwave, but bands like Power Glove and there's another one that do really cool metal versions of old 80s and 90s video games. Definitely worth checking out. Was it Omnishred and Power Glove? They do really cool video game stuff. And then what is there? There's Ghost, Perturbator, and Carpenter Brute. They did that 80s. I know it's more of like an 80s horror movie thing, but that still reminds me of video games for some reason. Nick, it was a mix of Mick Gordon and some others for the soundtrack on Doom, whatever. Oh, Dave said Magic Sword. I should check out Magic Sword. That sounds familiar too. Yeah, those video game-esque metal. And like back to tying what I was saying is video games, if you're going to spend that much time playing a video game, and if you love that video game, same with movies and TV shows, but whatever music is on there can make the video game, and the video game can make that song. When I'm at work, there's a lot of kids who play music, and they'll be listening to music I never heard of, and it's all shit. And then out of nowhere, there'll be a song like that's way out of their genre, way out of their fucking time frame. And I'm like, okay, and I know it's from a video game. I'm like, okay, so video games transcend. Gypsy and Laserhawk and the Midnight for probably video game based metal bands. Power Glove is the one I know and really like. I know there's I just thought of another one too. There's another one where it's one guy and he plays metal. I don't know. I've done some lo-fi shit and it's fun. I like lo-fi is huge now. It's funny how big lo-fi is. Whether it's a lot of doom metal does have like black metal is recorded completely lo-fi. A lot of doom metal is really cranked so high that it's distorted to the point where it's lo-fi. Video game synth. Chill lo-fi is a big thing. Making your shit sound like it was made on an 80s fucking calculator is really big nowadays. Okay, Nick, do you remember Tony Hawk Downhill Jam? Uh, Downhill Jam was one of, I don't know if I played that. So I played the first, what was it, up until American Wasteland. So I think that's like Tony Hawk 8. I played them all. I got one eye apparently. Yeah, I love the Tony Hawk games. They shaped the music I listen to. I know every song from all those games. Not only did that shape the music I wanted to listen to, that game also made me want to start skateboarding. At some point, I became so obsessed with not just the game, but the videos at the end of the game. When you beat Tony Hawk, you would unlock skater videos. And it was Rodney Mullen. I saw Rodney Mullen's skate video at the end of Tony Hawk 2, I believe it was. And I just, that was it for me. At some point, I'm like, okay, I'd never played sports, never fucking even attempted. I used to go to the skate park with my friend and be like, this is the dumbest. I hate it. Doesn't make sense. I fucking hate it. And yeah, so video games are big. I'm really glad I got into Tony Hawk and not like Counter-Strike. Otherwise, I'd just be collecting guns and being scary. Dimitri, what's your favorite piece? I have a Chong Bong. Pretty easy. That I do have an easy answer to. I have a Chong Bong from 2003. It's my prized piece or whatever. I don't smoke out of it. I think I smoked out of it for 420. If I get a really good harvest I'm proud of, I'll smoke some chronic out of that for special occasions. Maybe on this 420, I'll smoke another bowl out of it. And so about one bowl a year. I try to keep it hidden away. That's why I got this bong. It's not a Chong Bong. I was just talking about that tonight where I'm like, if this bong broke, I wouldn't be devastated, but it's close enough to my favorite bong that it's like my favorite functional-ish piece. Just like this one's maybe one of my favorite. I have a lot of favorites. And I try to smoke out of them as much as possible. If I do break a piece anymore, I feel better that I have all these videos of me smoking out of them because I can still look at it, although it'll probably just be a bittersweet nostalgia because I'll be looking at things being like, oh, I love that pipe and that bong. I've already done that. There's already quite a few things I've smoked out of on this show that are no longer in commission because my clumsiness has claimed more than but a few glass pieces to the eternal sands of time. Yeah, if you know what I mean. All right, so I think it's officially time to spin the wheel of dabs and see what we're dabbing on since we're talking about doing dabs. I got a cute little puppy here. Cute little kitty here. Things are good. If this isn't nice, I don't know what is. So, scared the dog and the cat. Cat's pretty used to it. I don't know what that dog is. She's like, I don't know what that thing is. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Gypsy, I've broken so many awesome pieces. Well, you know what? The only way I found out, there's a couple little things I found out. One big one for me is let me tell you, if you love a piece, don't hold it with other things. Like, don't hold two of them and walk around. Don't hold the tray, the bong, and your phone or something. If you really love a piece, hold it, set it down, and do its thing. Also, these round bottoms are sometimes a little dangerous. This one sits really well. That's a sign of a good press on the bottom. But yeah, if you love something, don't fuck around with it. But other than that, my biggest advice is don't smoke out of it. I have them in cases or behind glass, and they last forever, but kind of loses its fun. One of the big reasons I buy glass is because I use it. Aaron, nature of all glass is to break. What else can it do? Mood mats are key too. Oh yeah, lost many bangers to my table. Never bong though. Mood mats are good, or the dab pads or whatever you want to call them. What's this one called? Yeah, this is a dab pad. But also, what do we got? I have these cuts of wood on my front table. They're just from a tree trunk, like a small tree trunk. Someone cut them into nice like coasters for me. So we set the bongs on that, and that works really nice. But yes, don't set them. This has like it's a plastic table with a silicone mat, so it has a nice soft feel to it. It would be really hard to break it without like putting force into it on this table. But if you have a glass table, be careful. Back in the day, the #1 killer of pipes and everything for me every single time was smoking in the car or chilling in the car and then lapping it, where you set it in your lap, forget about it, and stand up. That's the #1 killer of pipes for me. So that's my biggest advice to save your pipes, is don't put them in your fucking lap when you're smoking outside or in anywhere. Just don't put it in your lap. Never put it in your lap. Nick, I don't get fancy pieces because of that exact reason. I've had people who love smoking and they smoke out of really crappy pieces, and they said that same thing. They're like, I refuse to fucking. They're like, I'll smoke out of a pipe, a metal pipe. Dank, good smoke. You know, better than I usually can afford. And I'm like, although this is pretty good, but because I grew it, my shitty pot's better than some shit I buy. But yeah, and they'll smoke it out of a metal pipe, and I get it. I think the key is to find somewhere in the middle where it's not fragile, but it's very aesthetically pleasing. That's why everyone's moving to silicone. Those silicone pipes and silicone bongs and shit like that. I see those a lot now. I hate smoking out of them, to be honest. Especially somebody else's weird rubbery fucking bong, and they're okay. They just don't. It just doesn't feel right. Aaron, most mats have traction on them, so the glass is harder to knock over too. Definitely a must-have for any setup worth keeping alive. Another big thing is if you're worried about this shit, don't get a rounded bottom. Get a saucer, dish, or whatever type bottom you want to call this. Like, this is hard to knock over. This bong is bigger and heavier, and this one actually sets really well, so it's not a good example. I have this one. This one is like just asking to be knocked over at all times. It's almost perfectly round. It having more water in it helps because it puts the lower center of gravity there, and it just makes it heavier at the bottom, so it really wants to be weighted down. But this bong, when it's rounded like that, can just tilt over so fucking easy. Oh, I can't do that. Fucking arm. All right. Let's put him there. Too many bongs. Not enough room. I haven't been cleaning up anything properly in this goddamn room. I've been working too much. Nick, I have a good old mini bubbler that I take everywhere. I do like minis sometimes. There's a time and a place for everything when it comes to bongs and glass. No. Aaron, and if you smoke out of silicone, you're definitely smoking to get high. I can't get those things 100%. Wait, can't get those things 100% at all. Yeah, I don't know. They're not my thing. Oh yeah, what dab rig am I running right now? Looks like the Purple Shark. So, if you're new here, which it sounds like you just might be, but to anybody who's new here or watching, the stupid wheel over here used to be a giveaway thing where you would guess next week which one it would land on my first spin, and I would send you out something in the mail. But with the pandemic and all that, I don't go out as much as possible, and it didn't get that good of results anyway when I was trying to do the giveaway. But anyway, so I spin the wheel. On the wheel are a whole bunch of dab rigs. Whatever it lands on, I take a dab out of. We laugh at me being stupid. Oh, there's a puppers. There's a puppers. Who knows the puppers? I only have fucking cat treats, dude. I don't think you should have a cat treat. I'm sorry. No cat treats. No cat treats. What's that? Oh, there's a good pupper. Oh, that's the best pupper. That's the best puppers. Oh, okay. I got you. Can't get those things 100% clean at all. The silicone ones, says Aaron. Uh, the silicone ones always grab terps or smoke from the last bowls or dabs. Yeah, I just don't like them. And okay, so I knew someone who had one of those silicone bongs, and it was a cool looking bong, and it was a chick, and it was, which that has nothing to do with it, but she got like a pink one, and it was like floppy, kind of. So it's a floppy pink silicone bong, and it just was fucking unpleasant to smoke out of. And I'm like, this is just not fucking cool. I mean, I get you can drop it and don't break, but yeah, it's fucking this pink. I'm like, oh god, this just doesn't feel satisfying to smoke out of, to put nicely. Just this big old phallic floppy fucking thing. I'm not trying to hate, but I'm like, I didn't like it. And even if it was anything, and my friend has a little dab rig that's rubbery too, and I'm just like, okay, even the butt plug version of this isn't any better than the full on fucking reamer. Gypsy, I put on my ice fishing coat today and I can't fucking talk. I put on my ice fishing coat today and found a whole joint and half a joint in the pocket from the last season. From last that's crazy. Hey, that's always good to find. I've constantly found money in my fucking. Usually the joints don't quite make it to the other to the next day. Nick, silicone bongs look so much like a toy resembling a thing. Some dude. I'm telling you, that pink one was fucking. It was like I said, I didn't like smoking out of that thing, and it was just a bong with give. Period was like weird. The color did not help. Aaron, something about when you hit silicone and the piece flops, inward from the negative pressure feels weird, like reverse drag. Everything about it, and it's like I said, it's especially in that case. This was pre-pandemic. We didn't like wipe down we were sharing a bong, so it wasn't a big thing, but it felt unhygienic as well. Like something about it, like being silicone, feels worse than a glass piece. It's probably the exact same amount, but it just feels gross sharing it for some reason. All right, so we got the purple shark right now, which I love the purple shark. But the purple shark was a compromise, and it's dirty and filthy and disgusting, just like this planet. So let's not hate it too much without looking inward, okay? But much like bongs, we too can polish the outside, but can accumulate gunk on the inside of crap. So, but this bong is a knockoff of a Nico Cray. Nico Cray is one of he's up there on an artist I really like. He's really into snakes right now. Instead of sharks. He got big making sharks, as far as I know. God, he's done something else too. But sharks and something else was a big one. But he's done other things. But this is a knockoff, China-made purple shark. I do love it though. So. Yeah. Gypsy showing some purple shark love. Like I said, I love the piece. It's functional. It works well. It was relatively cheap considering fucking how much an OG one goes. It was probably 1/10 to 1/20th of the price. So that being taken into consideration, it's not too bad. Okay, here's another one. We're talking about how we break glass. Recently, I've broken a lot of glass by doing this. This piece is getting dirty because I'm not cleaning all my pieces. So it's got a lot of residue and oil buildup from the dabs. Okay, there it goes. But it's kind of hard to get out. like, and it gets cold in here, so it like glues those fuckers on. So I'm pulling on it to take it out, and I just ripped the whole fucking thing off. And this was relatively clean, just a little bit of goop down here made it stick, and I just pulled it right off. I'm like, fuck. So a big one is allowing these to not get so dirty right here. Like, this thing's super sticky, so I should probably just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and clean it down. Jazzy Bolognas. Hey, happy Shatterday. Jazzy. Hope you're doing well. Ah, the mighty Lonock is here. Yep. What up? It's the mighty Lonock. Just got home from work, about to roll a joint. Sounds good. I just smoked a joint, about to roll into work. About to do some work. Got a little bit of rubbing alcohol here. This is still the same rubbing alcohol I've had for like a year and a half. All the rubbing alcohol I usually, and then I spill just so much of it on me. Wonderful. And I've been saving it for tonight to take a fucking bath and anoint myself in the fucking holy goddamn rubbing alcohol. All right. Wipe this guy down so I don't break another. Lonock, is good to have you with us for another Shatterdaze. I don't even know what they are. I quit counting Shatterdaze. I used to keep count of them and like number them every week, but it doesn't matter. It's all stopped when I started getting kicked out. So I would do a Shatterdaze and like my feed would stop and I get kicked out and I'd enter back in. And rather than naming it the same thing or whatever, I just write in Shatterdaze and try to get back on really quick. And then that's just become a habit. And now we're on Shatterdaze number. One day when I'm really bored and I have nothing to do, which is never anymore, but one day if that ever happens again, I will sit here and make a playlist of all the Shatterdaze, mostly just so I can label them, name them, and count how many we're on, because I'm guessing we're over 100 would be my guess. No clue. Oops, wrong ball. All right. Real quick, I have to change the water in this, and I recommend everybody getting some water themselves. Aguafina. And yeah, let's watch this. I should clean this guy out. It's a goddamn fucking shame. All right, change out the water. Jazzy, anybody try those new raw black hemp papers? I've seen them, but I have so many of these normal. I get the organic. I did pick these as organic. And I have the king size and these ones. I don't think I'll need to buy papers for another at least a year, I'm guessing, if not 4 years. I have, God, what is that? I have to be on like, maybe let's say 4,200 papers, 4,200 papers. I mean, I got a shit ton of fucking papers. Like I said, here's another 3-pack just chilling. And these have 300 papers each. These are the best bang for your buck on papers. The raw 300s, fucking buy them in wholesale, and they're like $3-4 for like 300 papers, and that's the way to go. That being said, I wouldn't mind if these were those black, thin organics, because the thinner the better. I'm a big fan of these raws. My girlfriend likes the OCB or OCD. I think they're OCD papers, and those are like probably my second favorite papers. They're very similar to these. I started getting into these a long time ago, before they really blew up, mostly just because of the packaging right there, what it says right there. Yep, that's why I did it, was that little writing there. I'm like, fuck, and then they blew up. The owner, much like me, has similar life choices. Nick, have you ever seen what biblically accurate angels look like? They're like some DMT shit. Yes and no. I'm not exactly seeing what you're saying offhand in my head, like what they were drawing. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was more along the lines of how those people first got the ideas for a lot of those things. Maybe not DMT in particular, but maybe so. It was old enough and around. All right, that's kind of crazy. Oh, and Nick, it's the purple shark. That says it all. That says enough. See, some things pop in and out from older messages, so not the best connection still. Hopefully, I'm not too choppy this evening. Jazzy, brother, same. I've had the same Element 300 packs. Elements I didn't realize are owned by the same guy. It's his company too. Raw and Elements are made by the same dude. I forget his name, Josh something. He seems like a really decent guy. Low nut. Top papers last a long time. Top papers are the papers I learned how to roll on because they have a shitload, big packs of them, and they're really thick. So like they're hard to rip, and they are not my favorite by any means. They kind of now, after years of smoking these, I never had a problem. And back when I rolled with tops, I was rolling swag from a brick with seeds and stems that you'd break up and roll up. Since I've been rolling with some pretty decent papers, going back to tops, which I have done maybe once or twice, it tastes like fucking rolling up with a newspaper. It's crazy how much time has changed my opinion on those. Anyway, Jazzy, brother, same. I've had the same Elements 300 pack since last year. On top of that, another 5 packs of blacks. I feel you on the bulk, that's the way to buy them. It's cheaper. Jazzy, he owns and started GCJs, which, yeah, I just saw that too. I just saw one. Well, actually, I saw that a while ago, but I just saw another video that he updated about like how their flavoring is still secret. I believe that dude was also homeless. So, Nicky D, I miss Juicy J's. You can still get them. He still makes them. So they're around. I haven't seen them either in a long time. My only problem was the gum never would stay sealed. The gum would not seal for shit. But Juicy J's kind of tasted okay. Again, back in the day when I was rolling with them, I was rolling swag though. But yeah, Juicy J's bring back some memories. He also owns a couple others, so he kind of monopolized on that, which is cool. It was a kind of, I don't know. He also does those clears, the clear wraps that you always see. He does those too. He's a nice guy. Like I said, he seems like a cool dude. Nick, I rolled with Game cigars way back when. My first cigar blunts were Swisher Sweets. Swisher Sweets. I still roll a mean Swisher Sweet, but much like going back to the tops from going to there, they just taste so fucking thick and so like make you hack up a fucking lung, give you a head rush. There's a lot of tobacco involved in them. Same with Optimos and same with a lot of them. I'm big on to hemp wraps now when I'm rolling blunts up. Game cigars, I don't even know the name of. Optimos were another old school one, like I said. Jazzy, I was surprised when Juicy J's, I was surprised the Juicy J's were hemp papers, which is kind of crazy. I didn't notice that, but that makes sense knowing who owns them. Nick, everyone's first was a Swisher. Back in the day, I mean, Swishers, and I can roll them perfect to this day, like picture perfect, because I take a razor and do it straight, and when I'm done, it looks like you could like if you turn it so you can't see where I cut it, they're just very easy to roll perfect, much like a top. They're really easy to roll. They're really good for beginners, but the end result is a little rough. I'm gonna change the water to this. start giving. I'm sorry. Get a little more water in there. Alright. Oh, what's up again? What's up again? Alright. Swisher Tropical, yes. I always used to, the ones I think in my head were the grapes and the cherries, which I'm not a huge fan. I never was a huge fan of either, so I'd get the cherries. But yeah, Swishers were the way to learn. And I still think they're a good way to learn if you're just starting. Lonok, I really don't smoke blunts anymore. My favorite papers are the OCB, so that's the ones my girlfriend's favorites. And they're my, honestly, they are really good. I'd say these are just a little bit thicker. I bet you those blacks, organic, super thin, raw blacks are just like the OCBs, and they're really good. All right, my favorite papers are the OCB hemp paper. When I was a teen, I was heavy into blunts. Yeah, I think everyone has their blunts phase, and I still love them, but they're always on special occasions. And now I just rolled up with one not long ago. Do I have? Because I just did my harvest or whatever, and that was a special occasion for me because I hadn't had a harvest in a very long time, even if it sucked, and I'm not proud of it, and I'm not boasting. I still was proud enough where I rolled up a blunt and was like, "Yep, gotta enjoy me a blunt of green crack." First one I've had in like forever. So, but anyway, there's a shop called Smoker Friendly here in Colorado, and that's pretty much the main tobacco store. I don't know if they're nationwide or whatever. I've never tried to go to one in another state, but they have their own hemp wraps, and they have an unflavored one, and that's my go-to right now. It's unflavored, all natural hemp. It says it's all natural. It's all organic. There's no other weird ingredients that I see with it, so that's good. And it tastes like a blunt wrap. It hits like a blunt wrap. Everything's good about it, like in that sense. But I don't get like a mad head rush. You don't get that same tobacco high. So if that's what you like about them, then you do miss that. Jazzy, the best tobacco wraps were the Zigzag Island greens. I think I saw those once. I never bought them. Green tobacco is smoother for my tastes. Also, my next favorite would be the Fronto leaves. I did a video on Fronto leaves somewhere in my old videos. Maybe a what the fuck is this, and then how to roll Fronto leaves. Fronto leaves. I love them, but it's just I smoke too much as it is. If I can roll fucking huge, fat, Cuban-sized cigars a pot, I turn into a train and it just disappears. I turn into a goddamn magician with that shit. Nick, I just do cones as of recently. It's way easier to pack in good volume there. I have bad luck with cones. Just one moment. No, you're not. No. Dude, you're good. I was just making sure everything was okay. At first, I'm like, oh, well, I was worried. Oh man, that's funny. All right. Nick, cones, easier. Cones are okay, but I have a lot worse running problems. Like every time I fucking smoke a cone anymore, it runs really bad. So, Jazzy, since I got that raw fatty roller, the 4-gram rolls, my blunt's never been the same. That's kind of cool. I've had mixed results. I like those rollers and everything. I just kind of I like I like doing it myself a little bit. I'll give you a treat. Right now is the worst time to get just got ready for a death. How about I give you a treat right there, so you can be right next to me. But a little is does the panda want one now? Does the panda want one? There we go. All right. All right. But, Jazzy, I must agree about the cones. I love the raw 98 specials. They're perfect size. So I have these grenade, or it's a rocket launcher, and it's a whole bunch of different size cones. I even have the giant. Oh man, I'm trying to grab one without fucking it all up. So I have this set of the different ones. It's got it says down here all the different ones, and they're cool. The only ones I have left are huge. Look at that one. That's a cone right there. That's the, what is this one called? Supernat. And this is the, wait. Is this the 98 special? No, I'm just joking. This has to be, so there's the Peacemaker. Is this the Peacemaker? Oh no, this is the Supernatural. It's gotta be the Supernatural. So there's the 98 special, the Peacemaker, the Lean, the Emperador, the 1 1/4, which is what my usual rolling size is, the Supernatural, and the King size. So I'm guessing. What we got? Oh, I do have a couple. Oh, this one lost its little thing in there. So kind of the cone's falling apart in this one, but it's in backwards. It's kind of weird. I think it's in backwards. Anyway, so I got a couple of these guys. These are fun. I've smoked 2 of these out of the 6 or so I have. I got a bunch because each one of these comes with 2 of them. I'm like, Jesus. Oh, there's one over here too. So I got some cones. They were cones. All right. What is it? There we go. All right. So this is always fun. Thank you. That was a big ass joint, sir. Yeah. I have smoked a couple of those. Both times I rolled them, I end up smoking pretty much the whole things to myself because the people I rolled to smoke with them didn't want to smoke it with me as much as, a couple hits, be like, okay, I'm good. And like, well, like it was like on 420 or something. I'm like, well, I kind of fucking rolled like a fucking half ounce of pot here, and I'm fucking smoking it. So fuck it. Fuck everything. Nick, me and my friends had the challenge cone. So is that what it's called? The challenge? It's one of those anyway. Maybe that's even bigger. On my birthday last year. That's kind of cool. 24 inches of weed for the taking. Yeah, no shit. I've done it a couple times on those ones. Those ones were, what I call them, the Supernatural, I think is what those were called. Yeah. I'm a fan. I just don't have the pot for it at the moment. Yeah, I had a piss poor harvest on my last harvest, and then this one's been crazy. Yeah, I've said it once, I'll say it again. If you can fuck everything up, leave it to me and my luck. Between those 2 things, I'll make bad shit happen. But I'll report it and tell you how not to fuck it up yourself. So, Nick, Apparently, Obama had an affinity for joints back in the day. Good for him. I know I was just talking about. I'm shocked how many states are legal now, or like decriminalized, legal, medical. You know, they allow pot in some way, shape, or form. I believe there's only 5, or there's like less than 10, if I'm not mistaken, that is just outright illegal in all senses still. I just wish, kind of wish they would just get over it and fucking make it legal. How are you gonna have it legal in some states and not others? I mean, that shit's stupid. Anytime, but state rights, yada yada, whatever. Fuck it. Don't get me started on how to fucking glue together a broken system, but it does seem a little stupid that it's still can be a federal crime on such a extreme level in some cases. Some people go to prison for it and other people make millions for it, depending on their taxability and social status and initial investment opportunities. Completely change it. It went from a crime to someone who deserves to be on the cover of Forbes magazine. So I don't know. Lonok, I just bought a keef scraping kit and it comes with spoons, scrapers, and a brush. It works well. I right now have all the equipment and ready to do another hash video. I've just been working a shit ton because everything is fucked and I have no money and I don't know what to do about everything. You know, this world is flying apart and I'm barely sticking together. I need my God damn it. Temperature thermometer. Temp gun. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, let's see. Yeah. There we go. Oh. Perfect. So, cheers. Finally got a dab in almost an hour later. Whew. God damn it. Why did I ever find anything? Oh. Oh! Whew. Ah. Nick, most people who get targeted are African American or poor, or stand out from the status quo in any way. Yeah, but yes, unfortunately, that's very true. As with any crime, also very true. Ears, Che. 3 truths in a row. Hat tricking it. Or whatever. Woo! Jazzy, brother, it's rough in the city. I'm out in the Texas outback with the coyotes, and we're all doing fine. Yeah. I am trying to get the fuck out of the city and away from it. It's been my goal for well over a year now. Like, immediate goal. I always knew that was a long-term goal, but now my goal is how to make it happen in the short term, so I can actually, you know, see it in my life. Jazzy, that shark bites. No shit. Sometimes you bite the shark. Sometimes the shark, it bites you. Don't bite sharks, though. It's bad. All right, Nick. Look at that set of chompers. Yeah, no shit. I love this thing. Having bought this thing, I have always said one day I'm going to get a real Nico Cray. His name is Nico, which is a cool name. Nico Cray. He's the guy who kind of invented this style of the shark. Like, it's very clearly a ripoff of his style. And I'm gonna get an OG one. And but it's like fucking. I've seen them starting at like $2,000. But it'll be purple. Pretty much, I looked at it as this. I bought this because I made an album for a band, self-titled album after the band called Purple Shark. This was my celebratory thing. If I ever do so well in that band that I can afford a $3,000 fucking glass bong strictly off the profits from selling it, I'll get one. It's a good goal to set for oneself. Jazzy, advice of the night. Don't bite sharks. Yep, don't bite them. I'm looking at you, China. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right. But that goes for everybody. Oh. Whew. I don't know what I'm dabbing on. I forgot to look. It's a really, really dark, gross looking distillate. It's not terrible to smoke off of. All right. I'd love to attend a glass blowing competition. So many wicked pieces out there for thousands. Glass has gotten really crazy. I've had a friend who's been blowing glass for 20 years. But the one thing I'll say about the dude is he's still blowing very similar pipes and pendants to what he was doing back then. He was so ahead of the game back then, I feel like. But that guy's got a straight job at a normie job, you know, and like has a normie life. I don't know what that means. And it's not true either. But he's been in the game forever, and I really wish I would have learned from him when I had the chance. But people have gone crazy with it nowadays. He has too, don't get me wrong. He has some amazing stuff that he was not making back in the day. But people have fucking took it to the next level, and there's thousands. I find it amazing how many people have that much money to blow on glass, because here I am, and I would think that I'm the perfect candidate to have a $10,000 glass fucking collection. But I don't know how people can afford. Not only can I not understand how people can afford to, but then justify themselves like in their day-to-day life. I mean, I'm sure that's cool and it's great, but I've gone over to a friend's house, and it was, you know, a bunch of people who lived in a house, and they had a glass case, and I shit you not, there's probably $50,000 to well over $100,000 worth of glass in that case. They were glass blowers too and shit, but I'm like, at least some of them, and had connections and had money, obviously. But I'm like, dude, a lot of that stuff you don't smoke out of. You know what I mean? You don't touch that fucking. Why would you smoke? You know. And you do smoke out of some. They would smoke out of some, and it was sick. But it was a weird thing to see that much glass, expensive glass, in a house. I'm like, I would love to do it. I have a glass case right there. I have a glass case right here. They're like a display, but you add it all up together, and my shit's not expensive. And I'm kind of glad. The way I did it was, like, for instance, this one. If I spent $2,000 on this and hated it, that's why you see so many Instagram, Facebook groups, and all this shit of people trading glass, because they'll get it and realize that it was beautiful, but they don't want to smoke out of it. Or some minor flaw that they don't like, but they just spent so much fucking money on it. So there's this weird trading, and then people get screwed over. And all I want to do is buy from the artist and give him cash, because that makes me feel better about it. But then it's like, again, who has fucking like $5,000 to spend on a piece of glass? I mean, and you better smoke the best shit ever out of it, because who buys a $5,000 piece of glass and then smokes crap out of it? So weird. I'm glad people are obviously doing okay, but it shows the weird inequity of this country, where some little douchebag smoking out a $5,000 rig with fucking $100 a gram fucking hash, who has no connections, but he can afford it. You know what I mean? You know, So, and then there's someone who's a hardcore grower or stoner or something like that who has really good stuff and fucking makes it themselves and puts all the love and effort into it, and then has to smoke it out of, just some cheap old bong. And I guess I'd rather be on the latter of that anyway, so it doesn't matter. Enjoy. What up, brother? Did a 1.6 gram low dose shroom adventure today. Trip for a good 10 minutes. Hard. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Fucking the shrooms I had. I have a. What we got now? When you got a beast like that one, let me tell you, even one little gram of it is fucking hardcore. I don't know. The weird thing about mushrooms is, and I've learned this after just tons and tons of research, because there are no academies for psychedelics. There's no, certificate where you've earned your degree. Most people only earn. You can only tell that most people earn their psychedelic degree because they have the permanent weird fucking trippy stare going on because they've seen way past the edge and there's no coming back. You know what I mean? That's the problem with the edge, is the only way to know where it's at is to cross over it. But yeah, there's no one. So with all the research I did, I've learned that literally, even growing on the same stalk, the same, this mushroom can be higher potency than that one. That one can be a higher potency than this one. This one could be more potent than all these put together. There's no real way to determine it. Also, just the only way to tell if one strain is stronger or not as strong as the other is to hear word of mouth. And after doing enough research on all these different types of mushrooms to grow for psychedelic usage, I've learned that depending on what forum you're in, where you're reading it, and what again, where you're listening and hearing it from, vastly different descriptions for one. I grew, this one where for stomach problems, because I'm like, I don't want to have stomach problems when I eat that shit, because that's just one last thing that makes it unbearable. One more thing that makes it kind of hard to do. Such conflicting reviews of everyone says that every strain is the strongest, and then everyone else, somewhere there's someone who's saying it's the weakest. And like I said, seems like there's such a huge variant. Mushrooms are very different than some plants and vegetables that you can get much more base level on, from what I've learned thus far. Jazzy, shrooms, so yum. Can't wait to start growing my own. Yeah, I've had an interesting time with the shroom stuff. Billy Bong, did you watch the video of the guy who shot up mushrooms, almost killed his ass, got a rare blood bacteria? Holy shit, no. Gypsy, oh my God, Billy Bong, that's crazy. No, anyone shooting up shrooms, first off, you deserve to fucking whatever happens to you. Anyone who looks at a mushroom and is like, how? You're jack. I don't know. Shooting up's a little fucking anything is much to me. Even if you're going for fucking like a broken arm, I don't like needles that much. They just bother me, which is a good thing. I hope they bother you. Tattoos are good though. Gypsy, I saw a cool acupuncture has been interesting too. Speaking of which, speaking of needles that I don't know how I feel about, I've had mixed results. I've gone maybe 6 or 7 times and it's been mixed results. Gypsy, I saw a cool looking mushroom chocolate bar Alice in Wonderland theme too. I saw that picture and it looked really neat. Really cool. And it even said something about extraction methods being used because it makes it easier to digest. Yeah. Apparently, I guess it's the actual organic matter, not so much the psilocybin that makes your stomach hurt when you're taking mushrooms, and that's been a big problem I've always had. It's cold tea. Gross. Earl Grey, cold. Nick, I had this crazy dream last night where I was hiding from a country on an abandoned oil rig where an alien was staying as well, and we became friends. When I left the rig and came back to the military, when I left the rig and came back, the military got him. Then I had to go on an adventure to save it. Uh, I don't know. I think it's crazy how dreams are just too much for me. It's just too much. Uh, I think that dreams are a lot like for me every night, and I think a lot of people can probably maybe relate. It's like when you see something so traumatic or so scary or so mind blowing that you just can't retain that information. I feel like you reach that level every single night. That's why you don't. There, I do. You know, I mean, it's like something so profound happened that you, if you were able to bring it back, it just wouldn't be okay for normal world to handle. You know, you'd break the fabric of time if you could bring back that knowledge. So you just have to wipe it out. You know. Anyway, Wilnock. Yeah, that was stupid to shoot up mushrooms. By the way, I'm growing Mexicana. Mexicana. Lonak. Last week I ate 70 grams fresh. This is my second flush. Last week, yeah. So 70 grams is like a good 7 to 8, right? 7 to 8. Yeah, it's usually 10 to 10% dry weight to high fresh with mushrooms is what I've been noticing. So if you got a fresh mushroom that weighs 10 grams, let's say, it'll end up weighing 1 to 1 and a quarter, 1 to 1 1/4 grams, totally cracker dry, so you can like how you'd want it. So that's at least 7 grams. That's past a heroic dose. Should be. If they you should have had a very intense, I'm guessing, experience off of that. Hopefully all went good. 5 grams dry. So okay, so like I said, I've had about a 10%. Like I said, for every 10 grams wet, I've gotten, when it's totally dry, about 1 gram off of it. What I've read is it's pretty normal to get maybe like 1 1/4 grams off of it. So, but every type you grow is going to be a little bit different too, I'm sure, a little bit. But uh, I haven't tried eating fresh. Even though I've grown some, I've never been in the mood to be like, oh, I'm plucking it and I want to trip right now. What do you know? I got nothing to do today type thing. You know what I mean? And it's always like, I don't know, man. Every time I trip, I like can't go to work the next day and shit like that. So, okay. So, 5+ grams. Well, not dry. Yeah, I know shit. Okay. So, Billy Bong Thornton, you guys ever try peyote? Uh, Billy Bong, take you to the spirit world, man. So, if I'm not mistaken, this is where I wish who you call it was here. God, I'm drawing a blank. God damn it, fucking Sandy. I wish Sandy was here. Usually, whenever I have a question, I'll look it up really quick for me. But I believe so. Peyote and mescaline are the same. Mescaline is the active compound in peyote, if I'm not mistaken. The buttons of the flowers. It is one of the only psychedelics that's actually an amphetamine. It's in the amphetamine family. So it's a very unique. Nothing else is. That's why it's different from what I hear. Also, it's not as ancient as we thought it was, as far as like what we can find, because people would be buried with it as shamans and shit like that for a long time. But it's only a few thousand years old, couple thousand years old, so or less as a use. But there's it's a amphetamine based drug, if I'm not hallucinogen, if I'm not mistaken. Lonok. I was in bed ripping paper to a million pieces. I was gone. I thought I was dead. A lot of people have that feeling of like you thought you were thinking you were dead. Well, sometimes I feel like this world, what we see is just kind of like a veil, like just a thin covering over something else. Everything has an energy or spirit, which I think is more like everything is existing on another plane of reality at all times. And our eyes, literally, in order to comprehend what these things are, just put a clean coat of everything, like a coat of paint, over the energy, and we see what is left over there. And the hallucinogenics are kind of like taking turpentine or acetone cleaner to that paint that we've put over everything in order to see where we are in a clear room. You know what I mean? We've just covered it with our perception, and when your perception's wiped and smeared and moved, you start seeing that things exist in other forms at the same time in the same place, which is all part of what is it? Different theories on how the universe works and unravels. Not string theory so much as multi-dimensional theory. All right, Billy Bong. Wow, nothing like tripping and not being able to go to sleep. That's the worst. I think I've always said that when the worst experience I ever had was taking acid when I was already tired. And I got into one of those loops, which is very common. But I never even called it a loop so much as, but it did. I started looping. And the reason was I kept going through this weird thing where I'd be like, man, I'm really tired. I need to go to sleep. So I go lay down, turn off all the lights, trip balls in my head and be like, I can't fucking sleep. I'm tripping too hard. I need to go watch, go out and fucking try to, work this out awake. And then I go and trip, and then I'll be like, man, I'm too tired. I gotta go to sleep. And then I go lay down, turn off the lights. I did that it felt like 100 times. It might have been like 5, but it felt like hundreds of times I did that. And I'm like, I don't know if you've ever been so drunk where the room's spinning and you pray to the porcelain gods and you're just saying, I'll never drink again. I promise, I swear, I'll never do anything to make this stop. I've been puking. The world's not holding still. It's spinning and I'm fucked. I did that, and that's how I was tripping, where I'm just like, anything. I'll never touch this shit again. Just let me go to sleep and make it stop. Don't exactly remember how it stopped that night, but eventually, it wears off and you finally are able to go to sleep, and I hate it. So being tired and tripping, never good. All right. Gypsy, my friend says, you geek. Sorry, that was a typo. My friend says, you geek out, and I don't know. I'm probably a geek. Nick, thinking you're dead is common with those really strong psychedelics, because what's dying is your attachment to this real world and your perception that you're clinging on so hard, and your ego disappears. That's why it's ego death. Gypsy, sorry, that was a typo. My friend says you feel the mushroom in you dying, and that's why you feel that way sometimes. I mean, I've never heard that theory, and it's interesting. I don't know if you also feel the pizza that you put the mushroom on to digest, or the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but that's possible too. But you do kind of become one with the mushroom. Although, now if you eat fresh mushrooms, like we were just talking about, what Mr. Lonok, then yes, you'd feel them dying in you as you're, absorbing them. The dried mushrooms, you might be feeling the essence of them dying, but they should be well dried and well, at least, on their own way to their next form. Mushrooms are crazy, but yes, that's a neat way to think about it, though. And then Gypsy, I went through a loop like that in Vegas. It was horrible. The loop's really weird and I hate it. Jazzy, McKenna was right. LSD is very analytical. Yes, although fortunately, I was young enough doing acid that I had no concept to look inside like that. And like, I'm sure it had a lot of lasting effects on how I viewed the world and consciousness and all that. But I had very visual and I don't know. Acid was a little weird for me, where I felt like it just. I always felt like when I did acid, I would apologize to everyone the next day because I'm like, dude, I'm sorry I was so out of it. I'm sure I was just on the wall looking at things and talking insanity because that's how I felt. I felt that disconnected from what was going on. Things were that distorted and yada yada. And everyone would be like, oh no, you weren't that weird. I mean, you were a little quiet and then you were, but nothing, they're like, nothing that weird. I mean, I didn't know that you were tripping that fucking hard. I'm like, yeah, I was gone. I'm like, but it's just so disorientating. I couldn't take much away from it other than, wow, you can completely destroy your perception of reality with like a micro drop of this drug. That's very eye-opening, but I didn't have any profound experiences. And I did have some pretty intense experiences. I watched a lot of movies. I don't know if that ruined those super amazing experiences. I'd trip out and watch movies. All right, Lonok, yes, a loop. It wasn't over and over again. Yes, a loop. It was over and over again. That loop feeling is terrible. Like I said, mine was just I couldn't stop doing the same thing, and I mean, you're so out of it. Again, acid, not my favorite thing. Two, it's just like it lasts too long. It's too like by the time you feel it, it's fucking over. You know what I mean? At least mushrooms, even when it just like hits you hard, you have a lot of like this weird warning feeling for me, where I'm like, okay, shit's changing. It's fucking happening. Even if it takes too long or takes too little. The shrooms I grew were the quickest acting I've ever had. I've had them take hours sometimes. This is like fucking. I had people tell me that took them. They're like, by the time I was done eating, they're like, I put it on a peanut butter sandwich. I think they said. Anyway, whatever they were eating it on, they're like, by the time I got done eating it, I was feeling it. And then like within 30 minutes, full blown tripping. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool because that's not the usual. But acid, it's all or nothing. Nick, I did a walk while on mushrooms and had some echoey music laying in my headphones. I felt like I was just floating, a floating head gliding above a sidewalk. Also felt at peace. I've had that kind of feeling where you're just fucking a head floating around. What do you call it? South Park makes a joke about that when Mr. Mackey takes acid, and that's another thing where I've kind of felt that. Nick, then I fell asleep on a bench and woke up in the afternoon. See that? I wouldn't like that shit. Nick, good thing nobody came by thinking I was some bum or something. Yeah, tripping out. I just, yeah. Then after I went to go get some KFC and went back home. Yeah, that's a fucking evening, buddy. Billy Bone. Who the hell discovered mushrooms? Just someone walking through the forest eating mushrooms? Oh, this one's a keeper. Pretty much. So, I know the big theory is we were all these arboreal tree dwelling small homunculi, and we decided at some point because of what is it? A different climate changing, and a different shifting of the continents and shit like that. All the grassland, all the trees and forest areas in Africa where we were all descended from, or so the theory goes, started turning into grasslands instead of forests. The vast grasslands that there are still there. When that happened, instead of being fruitarian, mostly fruits, some bugs, and not really any vegetables or wheats or anything else, and maybe some carrion there, dead animals when we can find it. Uh, we had to adapt, so we started going on to the grasslands, and what we find there were these bovine-esque creatures with these large turds in the ground, and we would track them, follow them, and underneath turds, underneath cow pies, underneath these droppings, are usually a good source of grubs. What else do you find there? You find mushrooms. There's no way to not notice that mushrooms are there. So you're getting all these protein sources that you can take. And it lines up very accurately when our increase in cognitive ability happened, that we happen to be on the plains where these are much more readily found. Mushrooms are found in the wild much more than cannabis. So something to think about. One thing I've always thought about is they say that pot grows like a weed. It grows everywhere. It does its thing and it's unstoppable. It sure isn't that invasive of a species, you know what I mean? Actually, I kind of wish it was, right? But I've never, ever seen pot growing in the wild. And I've gone to all types of places in the mountains where someone could have planted it. It just doesn't seem like a big thing. Jazzy, the one time I was publicly on LSD, I felt like people judging me really hard because I was on a longboard. I only trip now to recenter my being, but the trips are intense. Looking at him preaching the McKenna stoned ape theory. Yep, and it's been repeated a few times. But it's a very good theory to how that goes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the time and place fit nicely where we just suddenly leap into the shitty fucking species we are now. I've been on acid at a couple concerts and at a couple parties. The biggest thing I remember is getting the fuck out of them, being like, okay, I'm not okay. I gotta go home. Gotta get out of this situation. Gotta go. Nick, it was a beach, not a bench. Sorry. I read things wrong too. Sorry. Also, every time someone makes a comment, it moves. So I'm reading it, and there's a light right here. I wish I could fix that, but it's the best I have. And really, my goal is also I'm reading it. I have to look here. You're down here. I would like it where maybe I was reading it just right there, so I wouldn't have to fucking look over so much, because I feel like that's odd. Never really watched myself, but still, I imagine that's odd. Jazzy, look at him preaching that shit. Yeah. Lonak, mushrooms are easier than growing weed. In a lot of ways, it is. In a lot of ways. Although, that's like an indoor thing. Like, it's easy to grow mushrooms indoor with a pressure cooker and sterilized environment and all this shit. It's easier to grow pot outside in a dirt pile. You know what I mean? With some seeds and water. So outside in nature, weeds got it beat 10-1 as far as human cultivation, in my opinion. At least the way I grow shit. But indoors, I think mushrooms, once you get the hang of it, are a lot easier. Quicker, more rewarding. If there's a problem, they also I can restart my whole mushroom batch. I have some moldy mushroom start here. Got this weird looking, but it's moldy and gross in there. Probably just throw this whole jar away or pressure cook the jar and clean the shit out of it. Jars are so expensive now. I fully mask up dump out that nasty shit, fucking throw it right into a fucking high pressure, high heat dishwasher cycle with like the fucking sanitized shit on. Take it out of that, wash it again, hand wash it, then fill it, then pressure cook it when I do everything else and hope for the best. Gypsy, Dave said pot grows wild in Hawaii when he lived there. And when he lived there, it was there. And I can see that it's tropical. Maybe it's more like that. But yeah, I don't see a lot of pot growing wild. I've never come across it. Maybe like once, and I didn't notice it. I just don't see it happening a lot. And for being a weed, you know what I'm saying, that grows in every country, everywhere, it just doesn't seem like it does that much. But that's kind of cool to see it in Hawaii growing naturally. I'll spin the wheel to that. All right. I saw Danzig tripping on mushrooms. I barely remember any of it, says Gypsy. Yeah, I have very little memories sometimes tripping. It does can blank you out. And the things you do remember are very, focused. Like, I remember this one thing that night. At least that's my experience for a lot of it. Nick, ew. I'm sure I missed the reference to it, but Jazzy, I had a thought listening to McKenna that the mushroom hooked onto brain. Okay, sorry, I also have the fucking cursor over it, so that's really not helpful. All right, Jazzy, I had a thought listening. Saying that moves too. I had a thought listening to McKenna that the mushroom hooked onto the brain senses of the apes and the humans. And the humans are just evolved mushrooms. So like the mushroom just attached itself. It's more the mushroom evolving inside of us than our own, and then the monkey that ate it, which I don't know. I know he was a big thought that is a catalyst, something that changes you but doesn't actually do the changing itself. It promotes and provokes and enhances things that were already in you to occur, but then doesn't actually do anything itself and pieces out. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know. I have different thoughts, but like I said, if I had to guess, I think that my opinion is mushrooms. Mushrooms have helped, psychedelics especially, but mushrooms were the most easily obtainable for the most part, widely found and shit like that. They, probably had a great deal to do with the reason we are as cognitively advanced as we are. I think the real weird question is it intentional? Did the mushrooms want to do that intentionally? Are the mushrooms completely what most people think they are, just mushrooms, random vegetable-esque being, fucking things to eat sometimes, and those ones just do weird things? Or are they, placed there by like aliens and shit, you know what I mean? Or are they the alien, in the sense that spores could have came from other planets and spawned life. I know that without mushrooms, they're the big converter into oxygen besides algae, if I'm not mistaken. Like algae made it possible for mushrooms to get out, and then mushrooms really started transforming the world into a highly oxygen-rich place, too high, and we've gone through these different eras. Mushrooms, I think, are huge. Regardless of just the psychedelic part of the mushrooms, they're the reason every plant grows. They have a huge connectability to things. They find a way to connect on levels that we don't comprehend normally. You know what I mean? We didn't understand that they were attaching themselves to the roots plants, and every plant had a form of, fungus assisting it in its growth cycle. We didn't realize, what they can. Seems like I said, they just do a lot of things we don't we overlook, and I think the connection that they have with humans just shows that ability to adapt itself to anything. They are what really throws life into overdrive, it appears, especially if you take a look back onto a more uh, cosmic scale of things, in the sense of like a lot of time. Nick, there's some North Korean strain that my cousin saw when she took a tour of the country. This is way back when she was studying in China. Apparently, the North Korean soldiers use it often for pains and stuff. Well, I can see that, especially a lot. Just everything about it. Again, you got a good climate for it. You got people who fucking probably still use a lot of herbal medicine. Jazzy, I love how all these types of question leads to everyone's different, so who really knows? Like, for real, we've been pondering this stuff for centuries. Yeah. Now, the key difference is we're able to do it across vast distances without having to leave our room, and that should quicken up the comprehension of things. A few hundred years of us with immediate access to anybody that we are wanting or willing to talk to at any given time can really drive innovation in how we understand things. So hopefully one day we figure it all out. Gypsy, I saw a meme talking about how plants and trees will produce fruits and vegetables and oxygens to sustain us because they are farming us for when we decompose for them to grow, which they're probably really upset with how we've been getting rid of our dead bodies for quite a long time. There's a really good YouTube channel called Ask a Mortician, and she answers questions because she owns a mortuary. Her name is Morticia, and no, that would be great if it was. But she talks about I'm very interested on how I'm going to get rid of my body, how I'm going to die, and what my body is going to do. I don't know what is going to happen as far as afterlife goes. I've lived most of my life thinking there will be none. I'm at the point right now where I'm like, I sure hope there is, because I'm going to die probably soon. We all, the closer you get to death, the more your hope is on. But and at the same time, you don't know. It could be anything, and I'm open to it. Like I said, I don't know what anything is at the end of the day. Everybody's different, so who really knows? But I have been thinking about what impact I do make on this planet is, and I've lived my life in the last few years in that sense, where I'm like, I do live here now. The chances are people are going to go on and continue to exist after I die, whether I like it or not. So when I die, how do I want to be gotten rid of? Should I be buried? Should I be cremated? What should be done with my remains? For a long time, I thought about cremations and having my ashes spread in the mountains, because I really like the mountains. But that's not really ecologically, environmentally friendly. Cremations are terrible. As far as caskets go, speaking back to the mortician lady that I was talking about, she was saying one of the worst things you can do for the planet is fucking bury people who have been pumped with all these horrible chemicals for preserving your dead body. You're put into a suit made of fucking God knows what, sprayed with God knows what so you don't smell. Makeup. You're buried with your rings and all these metals. And then this casket is made to preserve you. And it does a very good job. People talk about worm food. You don't end up worm food in those caskets. Worms can't get to you, especially now. Most of them are have a metal. When my father was buried, he was buried in a metal casket. Uh, Supposedly a very nice one, but it looks just like a fucking metal refrigerator to me, just like we all do. I mean, caskets suck, but it wasn't. It was fine, whatever. But you don't. That body is just withering away. It's not getting eaten. It's not really getting decomposed. It was pumped full of preservatives. That's why you can go dig up a body fucking decades later and completely check it out. You know, we're preserving our dead. And we're running out of room, and we're destroying everywhere that we use to fucking bury it. They have to fucking replace the topsoil and do all this crazy shit. That's why eventually everywhere a cemetery is, that it dies. You think it would thrive and be like a garden, a fresh, you know, like look at the production of this place. Those places die and they have to be resodded and fucking relaid out, and a lot of maintenance on them because it's not healthy to do that to soil all the time. And then just put a fucking worthless, rotting, usually metal and fucking all these fucking shitty plastics and shit like that. So how I am going to die has been on my thought for a while. I saw a cool mushroom suit to get buried in that grows mushrooms from it when it helps you decompose, or you can be in a tree pod. I've seen the mushroom thing, and I've thought about that a lot, Gypsy. It's still right now technically not being actively done, if I'm not mistaken. It's still people have done it, but you can't just like sign up for it in wherever you're at. So I don't know. I would be very interested in the mushroom one, especially because I think that's fair and that's nice. But I don't know. Natural decomposition would be great too. Fucking sky burial would be awesome. Who knows? Gypsy, good call. The tree pod I haven't looked into too much. And when you start looking into your own death burial, people start looking at you a little funny. So death burial, death pod for your burial. People are, yeah. You start looking at caskets to sleep in because you're fucking a touchy sleeper, and people will look at you a little funny. Trust me. All right, Jazzy. If mushrooms grow from my body, whoever eats them to see me in the spirit world type deal. There's a X-Files where it's kind of like that, right? I know that they're growing mushrooms off of dead bodies, and then they were giving them to people, and yeah, something trippy was happening. Always felt like that would be a great inspiration for something to be expanded upon. Movie-wise, mostly. I don't know if I want to grow mushrooms off of dead people and eat them. Maybe sell them as gourmet mushrooms. These mushrooms have the essence. There's nothing illegal about that. Get some, donated bodies, some mushrooms. I don't know where this is all going. Nick, I think that I want to just be thrown in the ground. Thrown in the ground would be much more, would be better. But we run and hide from death as much as possible, which makes it even scarier because you're not used to it. Jazzy, cover me in salt and then feed my jerky to the wild. Nick likes that one. I don't know, man. If I wouldn't mind being shot into space. It's a big place. I really feel like they wouldn't mind one or two bodies, but I'm sure that's going to become so popular eventually that they're not outlawed because everyone's like, I want my casket in space. And when it gets cheap enough, and at first, the first few 10,000 people are going to be like space burial, and then they'll be like, okay, we're getting like a ring around this planet of dead bodies, and it's getting a little boring. We can't have that. There's already so much space junk. Lonok, I just made some LSA powder. LSA powder. Don't know it offhand. Should I? Am I missing out on something cool? Let's spin that wheel of dabs. Oh, wait, did I already spin it and it landed on 7 of 10 and I'm just an idiot? Because it wasn't on that before. Ah, this thing's so plugged. Let's pretend it didn't land on this one. Nah, I guess we'll dab out of that one. It's a fun one. It's just really plugged. Goddamn fucking, I don't take care of anything anymore. Anyway, yeah, I'll be right back. Change the water. Always change the water. If you can't even remember, it's been at least a week or two since I hit this thing. So, oh. All right. Nick, something about the sort of slow feel of funeral organ music that I like. It feels like being dark in a dark room and in an old house. Yeah, it's warm and comforting. Strange, I know. I did end up listening to that funeral synth, and then I listened to. You should check out some Funeral Doom. God, there was some good ones I checked out. I don't know them insanely well, but there was a couple I liked that do the Funeral Doom. So you should check them out if you kind of like that. All right, Jazzy, dude, the organs sound amazing. I like the big brass tones. Yeah, it does have a good feel to it. It's not bad. It's mostly associated now with like movies and shit that I think of, but still, because I don't know, most of the funerals I've gone to, they don't play a lot of that music. I've gone to mostly Catholic ones where it's just a lot fucking talking about someone else who died. Every time I go to a funeral, they just sit there and talk about some dude who died that I never even met, over and over again. It's a little weird. I'm like, didn't he die? Yes, but let me tell you about this other man who died. Maybe you've heard of him. Call him the J-Man. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, odd. All right. Have you heard of Ziggy? I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about Ziggy. For Ziggy is the way and the darkness. He is the darkness because in between the light and you lies the Zig, and he will show you the path. If you follow the darkness, just know that he's going into the light, therefore he's taking you with him. The darkness will show you the path. Nick, one song I can think of that catches that feeling other than the album I sent you, which I did check that out, is a song called Youth by Midnight. Midnight was one, yep. Gypsy, I got to pick the music for my friend's funeral. I picked Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and Alice Cooper. Good ones. I approve of all those. I haven't thought much about my own funeral or what I would like played there. I don't know. Hopefully, by the time that happens, I haven't so much music. The hardest thing will be is to choose what music I produce to play at my own funeral. I don't know. Funerals are pretty crappy. I've smoked a lot of pot at funerals. So that's good. Lonock, I used to listen to some fucked up bands. That's cool. Like dark depressive metal band like Shatterdaze. Habit. Habit. I guess maybe Happy Days. Or if it is Habit. I don't know. I like a lot of music. A lot of the music I listen to is a little depressing. I tend to lean towards that, and also I lean towards playing in a minor key, which is a bit more gloomy and dark sounding, obviously, than playing in major keys. It's just the ear. Happy Days. Okay, yeah. Dark depressive metal band like Happy Days. Never listened to the band Happy Days. Should I? Should I check them out? Do I have my phone? I do have my phone. I like dark depressive metal bands. Like I said, I listen to a lot of metal, and I think a lot of them you could probably classify as dark. All right. So, yeah. I should shoot out my music more and tell you all to give my music a listen to because it's on Spotify. But, all right. What am I looking for? Happy Days? I have a feeling it's going to come up with the Fawns. Happy Days. There we go. That looks like a pretty depressing metal. Low knock. Good call. So I'm looking at it at least. That looks like a metal band to me. I'll save the top song I find. We'll go with that. Kind of an underground band, apparently, but that's good. I like underground bands. Saved it. I will remember them for later. That's how I remember things. Is I usually just take one of their more popular songs and then just like it, so it's on my liked stuff. So when I'm looking through, I'll be like, oh, there it is, and I can find it easily. Nick, it reminds me of this dream I had that took place in the future, and there was this cult of undead rotting people who converted survivors to their form by gutting them and burying them until the full moon. They were gutted and filled with this fluid that the cultists secreted from their mouth. Yeah, that's a fucking pretty intense dream. Some HP Lovey crafty dreams. 710, nice. I just cleaned that one out too, at least this part. Yeah, shit really, dreams fuck with me. And Nick, my dreams are really weird if you haven't noticed already. I feel you, buddy. Gypsy, you should write your dreams down, Nick. You could expand them on to make them into cool short stories or something. That'd be awesome. I used to have that feeling quite often. That I'm like, I need to find a way to... But it was also like visually, I used to have dreams in very ways where I'm like, oh, if I can only make a camera do that, you know, or if I had the ability to write that memory down for later to try and like capture that motion of how everything panned out, and how scenes are happening. I used to have a very I don't know. I thought about how things would look on film a lot at one point. Nick, I do actually. I've heard that just writing down your dreams increases your ability to remember them in the future. But that's the exact opposite of what I'm going for, so I try to stay away from that. My goal is to forget my dreams as quickly and swiftly as possible. I accept them for what they are. I'm like, oh yeah, that was whatever that was for you. God damn it. Where is my whippet? Gypsy, sometimes I get high and get really great ideas and write them down, and then sober it looks okay. I was gonna sneeze there. Gypsy, sometimes I get high and get really great ideas and write them down, And then sober me looks at him like, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah, that's no good. I think every really stoned person has come up with like a multi-million-dollar ingenious idea that was just mind-blowing and humankind changing, but they forgot it before they were able to really get it down. That's a shitty thing. That's probably very true. Nick, my goal in the dream was to migrate to the mountains where they couldn't go because it was too cold. Yeah. I'd be shocked if I'd be shocked if a lot of people's inspirations don't come from their dreams when writing fiction stories, which almost makes them less fiction because you're drawing from real experiences, even though they were in a dream. Dreams are a really weird way. I think, like I said, that's another way that we break down that barrier of perception, and we do it every single night. You know, I feel like we're all guaranteed two different forms of barrier disillusion of our perception, and that's, you know, going to sleep every single night. We have a form of it, and then we are all, when you pass away, you're going to have a pretty intense form of it, I think, as well. Nick, it felt like the plot to Omega Man, but far more dark in tone, with some original subplots and elements. Nice twists. It's a damn fine dialogue, if I do say so myself. I actually wrote down my dreams like movie outlines if I think they were good, and I actually write down my dreams like movie outlines if I think they were good enough. Yeah, I've never really attempted to. I've never written down any of my dreams ever, not once. Like I said, my biggest goal is to try and not think about my dreams. Gypsy, I thought it was awesome that I had this dream about Three Crows song, and then you made it real. That was nice. Again, I like drawing from my dreams or other people's dreams. I think it's a neat source. I've just had a lot of really, dreams. If I get too into them, I spend too much time thinking about them, and then my dreams become even more intense, and it's just a bad cycle of, I don't know. The less I think about my dreams, the less important they become and not big of a deal. I've had a lot of years where my dreams were very unpleasant, so I don't know. I've been pretty good lately, though, so that's great. Sorry, everybody. None shall pass. Nick, the Three Little Crows song gave me sort of the Stand vibe. The Stephen King Stand. Because I've never actually read that book or saw the old school movie. Aren't they doing a new TV show with that? Nick, if you remember, the crow was the symbol of the imminent band happenings in that mini-series. I didn't. I never saw that mini-series. It was really long. I remember seeing parts of it, but not the whole thing. I remember watching The Langoliers, if you remember that mini-series by Stephen King. That one I watched, and that one blew my mind. It's the first time I ever actually had like edge of your seat action. I remember sitting on the corner of my chair, like my ass on the corner, and like my ass hurting, and being like, wow, I just sat on the fucking edge of my chair for like a very long time. It's not a saying you hear too much anymore. Edge of your seat action. Hold on to your ass. 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 Get ready to have your ass blown in half by this movie. All right. Gypsy Dave scared the shit out of me once because at 2 a.m. he sat up and woke me up and... All right, hold on. I'm going to take it down before I do this. Cheers, everybody. Whoa! Oh, man. Woo-hoo! Oh, yeah. Are you gonna hold my hand? You wanna hold my hand? He's right-handed, though. Doggo! God, I swear. I feel bad every time she walks in. I just blew out a cloud, and she's like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Woo. All right. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. Who's my sweetie? Who's my sweetie? Come here. Come here. Yes. Oh, that's the best doggo in the world. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Ah, ah, ah. She's such a good dog. She's the bestest dog ever. I can barely breathe. All right. All right. All right. Dave. All right. Gypsy. Dave scared the shit out of me once because at 2 a.m. he sat up and woke me up and got right up into my face and was like, you need to call your brother. No sleep after that. Well, that's always creepy. Dreams are fucked. I don't like the lack of control. That's my problem. And that's why I can't think about it much. I don't like any time I'm not in control at least a little bit. And when I'm asleep, I have zero control and it sucks. Maybe I should work on that, but it is what it is. And I've gotten better. I've been dreaming and sleeping well, so knock on wood. I'm waiting for the haunted knockback. Who's there? All right, Nick, I'm talking about the book and the 1990s series. I've always thought The Langoliers was a fever dream I had until I saw it again. That's crazy. Yeah, that is one of those movies, too, where those things are eating time. Crazy. Tripped me out. Scared the shit out of me as a kid. Nick, in an old VHS video store, no less, have one of those around at my house still. And they embrace the kiddish... Quiche. God damn it. Sorry. But anyway. It's the baby doggy. She is a baby still. Yes. Embrace the quiche of the 80s. Why am I not yeah, that word. Cliche, is it? Cliche. I guess I've never really read that French word if it's French. But yeah. She's gonna be 3 soon. Time flies. Not that I've known her that long. Gypsy, I thought it was hilarious because once he was totally asleep and his eyes were closed, he was like, I can't see shit. Yeah, that's being really out of it. How tired leading up to that was he? It's quiche. Quiche. Embrace the quiche of the 80s. Quiche. Yeah. There you go. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. I need this guy. Catch me right after Big Dab and try to throw words I don't know at me. God damn you all. I just sucked that all up. Oops. I'm going for 2. Going for broke here. All right. But I have had some really bad dream experiences. So every night that I don't have one, I'm extremely grateful. I know people who have really crazy dream experiences as well, and I feel for them. Is there a dog coming? Nick, I can't see. I can't see. What's the matter? You got your eyes closed. Yeah. Especially if you're like upset about it. I can't see shit. You're sleeping. Your eyes are closed. You just went to bed. Yeah. See, that's how out of it you are when you're sleeping. That's the thing that's kind of unsettling about it in a way. All right, let's get a joint rolled. And since I just sucked all of that into there, we'll put a whole bunch of that in here. Oh, is it my favorite dog in the whole world? Is it my favorite dog in the whole world? Is my favorite dog in the whole wide world? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All you want is cat treats, though, huh? All I want is your cat treats. Your cats aren't eating them, and I'll eat all these cat treats if you let me, she says. You want to pop up? She's got her little coat on. She's shy. All right. Gypsy, it was funny. I couldn't stop laughing. Hey, at least you took it well, especially after all that. Like, what the fuck? Nick, I learned that one from the Three Stooges. I can't see what's my eyes closed. My eyes closed bit. I never watched a lot of Three Stooges. I watched a lot of Marx Brothers and Abbott and Costello, but no Three Stooges. Nick, anything from a needle to a battleship. Wait, my dog will eat anything if you're not looking. Anything from a needle to a battleship. Yeah, shit. Phoenix, the dog you just saw, is wonderful. She don't eat anything. Like, she's very, very good. And you give her a treat, she chews them up really good, and she's very careful with it. And she's just a really good dog. She doesn't tear shit up. She's very careful with her toys. She's just the sweetest dog. She really is an amazing dog. I couldn't ask for a nicer, sweeter dog. So she's wonderful. Let's got some stuff to do, meow. Get this here, get that here. Start off. Oh, speaking of dogs, speaking of perfect doggies, now that you have your thing off, you want to pop up? You want to tell everybody hi? You want to say hi to everybody? Ziggy's like, yeah, I'm right here. I am right here. Nick, he would try to fight a bear if he was given the chance. Little dogs sometimes are the most ferocious. Well, they think of themselves as that. And sometimes they do, man. I've seen dogs stand up to bears and lions and shit like that on YouTube. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. So dogs will hold their own. And it kind of teaches you sometimes just being threatening, and, you know, sometimes if your bark is bigger than your bite, that's okay if it's big enough to freak something out. So All right, guys, take these gloves off. Got these compression gloves. And they do kind of help, but these ones are seriously so tight that only about a couple hours worth of wearing them and they start to wear on you. I just hurt my thumb and hurt all my stuff, so got a bunch of different types of compression gloves and they've been okay. Let him eat him. Shouldn't even be giving her a cat treat. I gave them both cat treats, but I gave her one too. Just because you're the best. And if you hop up, I'll give you one more. But if you don't hop up, no, that's mean. She shouldn't be having cat treats anyway. Oh, and then you wanted one. You wanted a treat too. You got so good at hopping up even though there's a doggy there. That's so good of you. Gypsy, I had a Jack Russell Yorkie mix that tried. God, I can't fucking read that. I had a Jack Russell Yorkie mix that tried to take on 2 coyotes once. Luckily, I saw it go down and pulled him away in time. Yeah, I mean, dogs are no shit. They will go after huge things. So you'll be okay. All right. So, something is really crazy happening outside. Something I've never seen in my life, and it's very unnatural. There's a cloud of purple smoke. So it's not very dark out, so it's glowing purple smoke outside in the distance coming over by where maybe the factories would be, but it's unnatural and it's very disturbing. I'm going to try and get my camera and take a picture of it. It's just so cold outside. Nothing like it I've ever seen. I need to get my nice camera and figure out a way to take a picture of this because it's really weird. I'm going to try and get a picture and show you. I just have no... It looks like it's glowing pink and purple. Like when you look at something for too long and it makes your eyes glow pink, it's just doing that in smoke form outside. And it's very disturbing, like a UFO-ish feeling. So I'm going to try and take some pictures and we'll figure out what's going on. But this might be the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So hopefully everything's okay, but keep that in mind. I'm witnessing one of the strangest things I've ever seen in my life, and it's happening outside right now. So if you're in Denver, it looks like it's south down towards down towards downtown, and it's just like what would that be, east of it. So yeah. No, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe you, and I would never know. That's where the plants are. It could have been a chemical burning, but well, it's so cold outside. I'm so fucking cold. I recorded it, so I have pictures, and it went away. Hey. All right. So whatever just happened was one of the strangest things I've ever seen, ever. You could see it through this window out this way if I looked out the window. So it looked what would appear to be very clearly smoke, lots of it, billowing, and it was pink and purple and magenta and kind of glowing. Otherworldly. And I got it on film. I got it on picture. And right after I got done recording it and taking a few pictures, it just went away. Yeah, I got pictures of this. Okay, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it right away. Let's see. I'll zoom in. You see that pink? I took a video of it, but look at how and when you saw it in real life, it was pinks and purples. And it just disappears. Trust me, that's not the sun. I don't know what chemicals. And when you saw it, it was changing all these purples and pinks and nothing. I've never seen anything like that. It happened right now outside. I'm going to go and check and make sure it's not happening again right now. It's 0 degrees here in Denver. It's so cold I couldn't stay out, but it went away. So hold on. Zero degrees. I guess we can. I'm looking at it's either chemical or there's alien shit on fire out there. Yeah, I just did dab at 7 to 10. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, just in case aliens come, I gotta be ready. Gotta roll up. Gotta roll up hard for the aliens. Jesus. All right. No clue what that was. It's still slightly doing it outside, but it's pretty much gone. But it's still slightly doing it, which even at the slightest, smallest amount is very unsettling. It's a little weird out there. Nothing looks like that. It's just glowing, like it's under a black light, but maybe just the right circumstances of chemical burning and such has done that. Nick, aliens came to smoke with us. Well, that's what I just said. I'm like, either there's a weird, fucked up chemical burning not far from us, or there's a fucking alien spacecraft fucking on fire over there. Something's weird. I can't find the cats. All right. Well, that was disturbing. Hopefully all is well. All right. Okay. So, I missed a lot of stuff here. But, I don't know. Mostly it looks like Gypsy and Nick talking. Sorry, it's so cold and warming up. Charlie's a badass. He don't mess around. He would kill a Spetsnaz soldier if he ever had the chance. Go for the jugular. Low knock, I'm eating pizza with fresh ginger. And then Gypsy asks, how is it? Good, and it's stuffed crust. That actually sounds good. Ginger and pizza isn't mixed enough. And Nick, sounds like the cat thinks something's up. Especially what my makes cheese sauce, some food stuff. I can't be reading that because I'm hungry. Could it be a reflection of the chemicals, says Lonock, or the sun? I don't know, dude. Nick, aliens, put that shit on Instagram. I might just do that right now because some weird shit just went down right there. And it's still slightly happening. Dude, I'm telling you, when you look at it, it just looks fucked. Something's not right about that. Hopefully, again, my biggest hope is there is not some absolutely terrible chemical spill just right there, and I'm fucking gonna be inhaling that shit. All right. Tag all paranormal pages. Good idea. I might just do that. Gypsy, it's 10:15 in Colorado right now, so I think it's gotta be from the ground, I would think. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. It's not, it's weird. Gypsy, I'm north of Denver, so I couldn't see it. Yeah. Nick, the aliens came to smoke with us. I need to get some seeds. I need to get some seeds, yeah. Get some seeds. Although this is, don't let this convince you. Those are shitty little nuns. But Gypsy, alien shit. Well, dude, something was, you saw that. That wasn't just me. I'm really glad I was told about that. Otherwise, I would have been like, dude, I don't. So I'm going to put it to my Instagram right now. We'll post it. I'll tag it. I don't know how to tag that. Wish I could clean it up just a little bit, but dude, this shit's fucking crazy. Alright, good enough. Try not to take forever. Alright, well, that was interesting. I hope that's still not going on outside, because that was disturbing. Whatever it was. Well, we're going to roll a joint and pretend I didn't just see purple smoke in the sky. And then we'll probably call it a night, because it's late, I still need to eat, and I just saw some really trippy shit that I got to sort out in my brain. Kind of figure out, I'm sure it was nothing. You can always hope. That is a hella hooked up hash bowl. We did not let that bowl, all that hash go to waste. If you, Lonock, I'm smoking a bowl. Good on it. Gypsy, maybe some lights downtown reflecting clouds that are moving. Well, the video is now up on Insta, Venom420 on Instagram. You give it a look and you tell me what's going on there. I couldn't tell you because I don't fucking know. All right. Lonock, somebody illegally dumped chemicals, right? That's the other. Yeah, watch that video and you tell me. And it just goes away. Yeah, nothing would surprise me either. At this point, I don't know. I do know that I got a whole bunch of hash on this piece of paper right now. I have a whole bunch of homegrown nugglage, and we're going to grind that nugglage up, smoke an amazing bowl, and then I'm going to try and figure out what the fuck that was for science. All of this is in the name of science. Yeah, trust me, it's weird. Sorry to leave you guys hanging and whatever there, but when you see it was weirder in person. I'm glad that anything came up on camera, but seeing purple and pink glowing smoke, the smoke itself was glowing, not being lit so much as it looked like it was what was producing the light. Again, I just took a huge dab, walked out there, but I also got it on camera. Swear to God. I walked outside in the freezing cold for like 2 seconds. My lips just fucking completely dried up, shredded. Spitting out my own lip over there. All right. Nick, alrighty, I'm back. Good to have you back. I'm still slightly concerned about the shit that just happened there, but what are you gonna do? Yeah. Gypsy, yeah, it's freezing cold. Yeah, it's fucking 0 degrees is what my phone just said, where I'm at. So there isn't a temperature, is what my phone said. I asked my phone what temperature is it, and it said there isn't one. So, all right, let's roll up the best joint of the new year. All right. Guess I can just look out this window a little bit. So, knocking everything over. All right. All right. Ugh. There are a bunch of crazy horns outside, but they went away. All right. Lonock, I'm 18 degrees. I'm cold as ice. Cool Crush Killer. All right. Roll up a J, and then I'm going to spin the wheel of dabs immediately, and then call it a night. Because that took up a lot of my time. I still got to eat. We got to call it a night. We're down to the lucky 11 of us. I keep hearing weird shit outside after seeing that. I'm sure it's just probably some chemical that we're inhaling. I don't know what chemical burns a bright phosphorescent magenta, but that's whatever that was for you. Maybe I can Reddit it. That's probably my best bit of figuring out what the fuck that was. I don't know how to Reddit though. Alrighty. So, got another one twisted up. This one is for all the crazy shit and to hope that everyone is nice and safe, because God knows what that's all about. But yeah. Finally busting in some good nugs though. They're finally drying out to the point where I can roll up some Frosties. But nothing to be bragging about again, like I said. But thank you again for joining me. It's been another amazing night. Let's spark one up. Here's to your health and everyone around you having a good life for the short little bit we have to enjoy it. Thank you for sharing this short little bit with me. Now that is some tasty bugs. Got the green crack going. Cheers, Gypsy. Cheers to everybody. Hopefully you're puffing on something nice and tasty. This is nice and tasty and fucking potent. You can just taste all the hash. Finally got some good nuggage that's dry and smoking halfway decent. So, I also got this new grow setup while I'm showing you some pictures. Dude, I don't care what anyone thinks. That was fucking the weirdest shit. Being sober, that was up there on some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen. So, take that for whatever. But anyway, I wanted to show you the new guess it was that the new grow setup. Of course, it won't zoom in. Anyway, it's a giant grow tub. So what happened was I ordered a grow tub online, and it actually had a crack in the bottom of it. And so I sent them. I'm like, dude, hey guys, you sent me a cracked thing. I sent them pictures. They're like, we'll send out a replacement right away. They sent me out a gigantic, huge fucking unit, like one that's 3 times my normal size and has 6 individual growing trays in it. It's a fucking 13 to 17 gallon deep water culture grow unit. So I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to complain about that. I'll fix the one that they have somehow, some way. or just call the loss and fucking. So now I have a total new grow system that that was about at least twice as expensive as the one they originally sent me out, and I got to keep all the stuff that came with the first one. So low knot, cool, looks like a revolver. Yep, it's the old 6-shooter. It is massive, and it's great. So I'm really excited about that. I'm happy that I don't seem to be passing out from the weird fumes that are clearly burning or something going on in the distance yet. So that's a plus. But yes, it's very cool. It's got 6 little ones. I am gonna, dude, everything that could possibly get fucked gets fucked with my shit. So I fortunately had the exact amount of clones to fill up the 6 there and 1 more on the side by doing some fuckery and making it work. And I tried to just jump them all into the light cycle, but I learned once again that you really need to go slow on introducing them to high amounts of light. The slower, the better. Mushrooms, the colder, the better. Like, I always go little, I don't know, there's certain things I've learned to lean towards one side or the other. And with this whole experience, I'm glad I had as many clones as I did, because I'm just barely making it, and I almost fried all of them. Half of them, I turned on the full lights too soon and fried up my little clones. They bounced back slightly, but I don't know if they're going to make it. So it's a weird growing, and since it's a huge one with small pots, I might only be able to grow, I might grow like 8 plants in there or something crazy, but they can only get so big. I don't know how it will work. Everything's new. Now I'm literally new growing system, new lights, new fans, new, and I mean like new ways they work and everything. So I think everything should be better, but everything's different. One thing I've learned with LED lights is it's really hard to get them up to the ceiling. So the way they hang, I fucking broke one of my plants in half, dropping the light, trying to raise it up higher, and then just being tired and fucking. Which sucks, because when you smoke this, it's all worth it. Just homegrown, amazing tasting. I know there's nothing fucked with it. It smokes better, it tastes better, it feels better. I don't know. I still love my green crack. A good bowl of this. This is the type of pot that'll kind of still, like, it's very heady, like I said. Maybe also because I'm just had a really weird experience, but it's like very kind of puts you on edge because it gets you really high stuff, and I kind of like that. But it's kind of it's very heady, like I said, is the best way to put this stuff. But it's good, actually. Just like mushrooms and stuff, I've heard a lot of conflicting. Every strain I look up, if you look at different growers, most have like conflicting things about the same stuff. If, on a blind test, I'd be surprised if a lot of people just, who knows where we go. Nick, I think I'm going to head out. Yep, it's almost 1 a.m. here. See you next Saturday. You're damn right. Nick, I'm going to spin the wheel of dabs one last time, and it's good night for everybody. For me. Good night to everybody. From me and from you. You have a wonderful night, Nick. We will see you next time. It's always good to have you. It's always good to have all of you here, especially when crazy shit goes on. One last spin of the wheel, and we'll see what we are dabbing on. Gypsy says good night. Everyone says good night. Damn, that's a damn fine. Oh, and it's Rose. Good ender. We end on a high note of the old Rosie. Oh, here she blows. There she blows. All right. There's that. Oh, man, I didn't clean that out last time. I suck. I might just cheat and put a clean one in there and not clean it out again, because I don't want to. That'll work just fine. Rose, hell yes. Gypsy. I'm really enjoying this one. This was a good one. This is one of the first real nice nugs starting, like I said, that they're dried. Can smoke them. That's tasty. Let's get this gal. Let's get this gal. Let's get this dude. Everything's a dude to me. Inanimate objects, guys, girls, whatever you classify yourself as, you're still a dude to me. Because I'm a dude and you're a dude and the dog's a dude. The chick dog's a dude. You know what I mean, dude? So, let me dump this out. Take a dab. Call it a night. It's a weird night. I got some shit to fucking sort out. Got this paranormal shit to sort out. Clouds don't fucking... Smoke and clouds don't glow pink. It's not normal. It's not natural. When you see it, it's not natural. Alrighty. So yeah, it's right near the... There's a whole bunch of fucking plants. There's a Suncor Energy plant, Suncor Energy USA, sewage treatment plant, chemicals facility treatment, all these stuff. It's not the best area right where all that shit was happening. So very possible it could be any number of horrible chemicals. Like I said, not very good. But not a lot I can do about it. But like I said, we're gonna do a dab, call it a night. And yeah, that's how we doozy on our onesies and twosies. All right, just had that bowl. What did I do it? Oh, so yeah, I'm all shook up. Uh-huh. Well, if you've ever seen any crazy shit in the sky, let me know about it. Because I am always interested. Yeah, that was one of the most doom metal-esque things I've ever seen. It was the Black Sabbath purple smoke in the sky. I just wish it wasn't literally happening just a few miles from my house. You know what I mean? That's the problem. I don't literally want to fucking melt in a chemical fucking fire. God damn it. Anyway, let's do a little dab. Have a little dance. I'm hoping the best. All right. Anyway. Cheers, everybody. Hopefully everyone has an amazing evening and everything goes super sweet and well and all that jazz for you. Yeah. I still got a joint going, so it's not like I'm just getting off. But yes, I hope everyone is doing well. I guess I should temp this before I just blow my brains out. That wouldn't have been too bad. All right. Cheers, everybody. Hopefully you're doing good. I love how desensitized we are in the world where it's like you can see literal, just fucking like mind-boggling shit outside. Woo! God damn. And just be like, well, that's crazy. That could be any number of things. But like, you know, seeing that at a different time it's easy to see how people can create whole religions, whole mythologies, entire backstories from crazy shit they've seen in the sky and fucking unexplainable phenomena that happen naturally or unnaturally all throughout this place. And it's like, wow, yeah, it doesn't take much to blow our modern minds. So the fact that we've had some crazy fucking shit in the past that has inspired shit isn't surprising to me. I don't know. All right. Well, that was nice. Going a little light on everything at the moment because I'm a little still on edge with everything. I just hate to think of what the possibilities of that giant plume of purple smoke could be. Have you ever seen The Color Out of Space or read the book or know of the book? It reminded me of that. There's a movie with Nicolas Cage too, and I just haven't watched it, but I have it, which makes me want to watch it, except for right now it'd be very unsettling to watch that tonight. Plus, it's going to be a long night as it is. I don't know. Shit's crazy. Anyway. Until next time, I am not a wook, as the famous words of Nixon always said. Yeah, man, take it easy. Keep playing music. Keep having fun. Keep enjoying your life. Do everything you can to squeeze out every bit of it while you have it, because you don't know how long it'll be here and what's going to go on at any given time. Every time you think you know what's going on, you have no clue. So, there's a lot of shit under the ocean that blows our minds, and all these crazy deep sea videos and all this shit on YouTube. But when it happens in front of you, if you've seen too much of that shit, like I said, it desensitizes you to it, and you might not appreciate seeing it through your own eyes enough. But so I don't like to downplay anything, but yeah, weird shit still happens. On that note, keep it weird, keep it beautiful, take it easy, keep it keefy. I'll see you next Shatterdaze. From me, Ziggy, Panda, Willow, Loki, Stormy, Ziggy, Panda, Phoenix, and everyone else. Have an amazing night, and stay safe. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, maybe even sooner. Oh, yeah, I might be doing a gaming channel. That still might be in the works. I've just been trying to work out the kinks and have some time. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday nights. So, Tuesday nights, I'll let you know. Maybe, maybe not. See you next time. Have a good night.